and welcome to another episode of Break the Cycle with me, your host, Joshua Smith. Hope everyone's having a wonderful evening. I don't know if it's playing the music. Is it playing my music? I hate that I can't hear it. I don't know why I can't hear it. I have it on monitor too, but whatever. Who cares? Who gives a shit? Guys, I have some very sad news for you tonight. Before we get too far into this, our good friend Josh Denny, who's one of my favorites, I've had him on the show several times. He was supposed to be here with us tonight. Unfortunately, he has had to take the night off due to a medical emergency, and so we will not have him with us tonight. I'm very, very sorry. If you were as excited to have him here as I am, unfortunately that just is not the case. We will reschedule, make sure that Josh Denny gets back on the show ASAP. Guys, check out toplobster.com, the man, the myth, the legend, my good friend and partner on Break the Cycle, where you can get this great Break the Cycle custom dark camo hoodie that you see me wearing tonight by using BTC at checkout for a 10% discount, or you can join the Patreon subscribe star, become a member of the YouTube channel under all my videos by hitting the join link, where you can get into a private Discord server and get up to 30% off 2 weeks before it goes to the general public of all of Top Lobster's brand new gear. It's good stuff, dude. Ryan likes it, right, Ryan?
Yeah.
It fits him great, right, Ryan?
I wouldn't really know. I don't have any gear yet.
And Ryan is on the couch tonight. You'll notice, unfortunately, AJ also could not be here tonight. He's out at a PTO meeting, doing his PTO thing. So we won't have AJ or Josh Denny. It's just me and Ryan tonight talking about the Twitter files and other things. Like, I think, unfortunately, my good friend Ryan is having an existential crisis right now. A little rough patch. He'll be okay though. Right? You want to tell the story about what happened?
Yeah. So, me and my little brother were in a basketball league. It's screwing me up, but me and my older brother were in a basketball league, and last night we are no longer in said basketball league because the team we played with week 1 yesterday at 1 p.m. texted us and said, hey, the game's at 7:50. Be there, white shirt, and everything. And at 6 o'clock, as I'm already changed into my shorts, got my shoes and everything, and going out to buy a white shirt, they say, we don't want you anymore. We don't need you. So,
this is how bad he is at basketball.
Mind you, last week, I was the second leading scorer on the team, and I played the least amount of minutes.
He was just a little bit better than LeBron James.
Yeah. I pulled out the move that made LeBron cry.
Poor guy, man. Everybody,
Yeah.
you know what? You got to give the guy some yep cocks in the chat to make him feel better.
We even showed up to the game and talked to them, and they were like, yeah, we're just not going to do it. And I was like, what the hell, man?
Yeah. It's pretty messed up, dude. That sucks. I don't know. They didn't give you any kind of reason at all?
They just said we want to get as many minutes as possible. Well, last week they were fucking dying. They were just like almost keeled over, and that's when we came off the bench because they only had 6 players last week, and we were there as free agents trying to find a team because the guy who set the whole thing up told us, hey, that's the best way you're going to be able to get to play. So we did that.
Will Hobson's in the chat saying he can barely hear us. I don't know why.
I don't either.
Maybe I have the song up, the background song. Maybe I need to fix that. I did turn up the volume a little bit on our microphones too. I gotta get, like, I have the sound dialed in a lot better, but I keep fucking with the volume on my mic because I keep trying to finish recording that song. If you're watching, I'll have it done by Thursday evening. But look out for that. My friend Andy Coombs is putting out a really dope, really good metal album, and I have some guest vocals on it. So I'm very excited about it.
So like last week when we were walking out, after we won, we were chatting it up, having a good time, and we were like, yeah, we're on the team, right? And we got told multiple times, yeah, you're like on the team for sure. Like this is a for sure thing. And I was like, cool, because I wanted to make sure exactly what happened didn't get happen, and we got just done so absolutely dirty, and I was ready to hurt somebody
That's okay.
last night. I
want to
was
hear a really fucking
in
story
Minecraft.
that might make you feel better.
I don't know.
So the other day, my kids asked me, "What's the worst grade for you in school?" And I had to tell them it was the fourth grade. Well, why was it the fourth grade, Dad? I said because I had no friends. I spit when I talked. I stuttered, all that good stuff. Right? I was a fat kid, and my teacher actually had the class vote on whether or not I could go on a field trip. And 2 kids raised their hands for me to go. My friend Joel Biles and my good friend Mike Wilhite, who have been my lifelong, Mike Wilhite's been my lifelong friend. 2 kids, and they didn't let me go on the fucking field trip, dude. You want to talk about fucking a child up to the point of like I look back and I'm like, what's like one event that I can like point to that fucked me up so bad that I just was like lashed out at everyone? That was the one. And her name's Miss Gianni. I don't know if she's still alive, but if she is, fuck you, Miss Gianni.
TJ, I doubt you're listening to this, but go fuck yourself, dude. Like, go stick an entire blender up your asshole.
Oh, Jesus, dude. Go stick an entire blender up your asshole. I turned my mic up too, Will, so let me know if I sound better now. I don't know. Guys, go check out anthemplanning.com, executive producer of the show. They are amazing. They're doing a wonderful job that the government has historically sucked at, much cheaper and much more efficiently. They help organizations solve unsolvable problems in the technology and HR arenas. Their team leads by example. Anthem consultants have led their own organizations through demanding periods of change. Now they help clients succeed in the face of technology and personnel challenges. Plus, they're amazing people. If you own a business, you need them. Trust me. Trust me. I know people who they have helped, and it's worth every penny, and it's not expensive either. So if you have a business, you're trying to start a business, any of that good stuff, and you need help planning, please hit them up. I promise you it's worth it. Ryan, how you doing, buddy? I really feel like you're down today, dude.
I am. I'm down today. Like, I won't deny it. Like,
I feel like we should do like a whole Q&A today, and just
we could
just have the chat ask Ryan a bunch of questions to cheer him up, because he can pontificate. He can like do his intellectual pontification shit, and it'll make him smile. And
your son Joshua, your 420th 69th child, asked if it's the first time I've ever been angry. No. I've been angry many a times.
Yeah, he's written several strongly letters for sure.
One of the most angry I've ever been was on my wedding day.
Oh, good. That's a good time to be that angry.
Mm-hmm. Well, I learned
you didn't
that
catch your wife in the back room with some other dude or something.
Oh no, I learned that our venue, because of the actions of an individual that I won't call out here, but our venue was 120 degrees when guests got there.
Oh, you told me about that.
Yeah.
And you had to get all the fans and portable ACs and
Yep.
shit.
I went through all of that work, spent nearly $1,000, hours and hours and hours of time strategizing. We used every last watt of power that the building had to offer. We planned out and did everything that we could, and someone else decided their plan to blow air in from outside and down from the ceiling was far superior to my months of planning. And I was...
You're related to this person, aren't you?
Yeah, I am now related to this person.
Of course you are, buddy. That sucks. So he was much more mad on his wedding day than when he got picked last for basketball and then told he couldn't even play.
I mean, see, if we would have gone there and not gotten to play, that would have hurt a lot less than being told, yeah, we want you on our team, and then right before the game starts to be like, nah, we don't want you. Because I'd been looking forward to it all week. Basketball is a game I could just get addicted and lost. And
you don't want to get lost on the court during basketball, dude. That's a terrible way to try and win games, dude.
But basketball is my favorite game to play, and I just love the sport. And
like one of my least favorites, but I'm pretty good at it for a fat old dude. You'd be surprised. I was really good at football. Okay, look, my son Tato is going to be 2 at the end of this month, right? They're on New Year's Eve. My son Tato will be 2. He's obviously very athletically inclined. The kid can already. He's not 2 yet, and he can literally throw a regulation size football. Okay, so Julia, my fiance, has been like, "Hey, we need to get him signed up for something so that he can get some dexterity and agility and all that good stuff, and start learning how to fall correctly because he's probably going to be an athlete." And I'm like, "Yeah, he does seem like he's going to be an athlete." She's like, "We should get him in gymnastics," and I'm like, "No, that's fucking gay. I can't do it." Right. And she's like, "No, seriously, you have to get him in gymnastics. I'm telling you, you really need to put him in gymnastics." And I was like, this has been months that we've been talking about this. And so I was watching some Dallas Cowboys, fucking propaganda all day today.
We love football propaganda.
Yeah, I literally, there's like, I'll watch shit from my teams and it'll like bring a tear to my eye. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, dude, they're having so much fun out there. I'm so proud. And it reminds me that like, I had opportunities, right? Like I could have taken these opportunities if I would have fucking dedicated myself. I was an athlete too. I started wrestling when I was 4 years old. I wrestled for a decade. I did MMA on and off for a decade. I played football into my 30s. You know what I mean? Like I had opportunities to do these things and I didn't take advantage of them. And when I was young, I didn't have agility and dexterity training, right? Like nobody helped me out with that shit. I had to do it all on my own. And so I was watching Dallas Cowboys stuff today, and Micah Parsons and some other people Micah Parsons, whatever, dude. I was watching them speak, and a couple of them started talking about how they did like gymnastics when they were little and shit. I'm like, God, oh man. So I immediately was like, all right, let's do this. So I texted Julia. I'm like, I'm going to sign him up for gymnastics. So I signed him up for gymnastics, and he starts Daddy and me gymnastics tomorrow. So Daddy will be doing gymnastics with him on Wednesdays at 6:30 at a place that Sean Johnson and Gabby Douglas did their gymnastics and went to the Olympics from and trained for the Olympics. So it's a good place at least. And hopefully, I'm going to go in and be like, listen, I don't want him to do any of that weird shit. Okay, I just want him to get some dexterity and agility and be ready to play football. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no like massages or
whatever. Don't touch
whatever
him.
The CIA
teach him how to fall and jump over shit and like run and he doesn't need to learn how to do the tango or anything like that. But so my littlest dude, my second littlest dude now is going to be doing gymnastics tomorrow. But it's only to lay the blueprint.
Yeah, so he can develop that bend as an edge rusher to be able to get to the quarterback.
Well, no,
better.
he's not going to be an edge rusher. That kid is a quarterback through and through, dude.
Oh no, that kid is in the trenches. Have you seen the size of him?
He's a monster.
That kid is in the trenches.
He is an absolute monster. But he could end up being 6'4" and 190 pounds, and he'd be perfect for being a QB too. It just depends. He's as wide as a tank right now.
Yeah.
And he's not like abnormally tall.
He's
our baby
to be that that like 6'1", 6'2", 290 defensive tackle that eats up blocks on running down and has a 6 swim move on passing downs.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I want him to be a quarterback. So I'm gonna train him to be a quarterback because that was what I wanted to do. I always wanted to be a quarterback. And they say if you can't do, you teach, right? And so I know how to spiral the ball. I know how to move. I know how to get out of the pocket and run around. And so I'm going to teach him how to do all those things. And then if he becomes some big giant kid and he doesn't want to play quarterback anymore, that's fine.
Okay, are you seeing the chat at all?
Yeah, they're all arguing over the Ryan Rian thing.
So my wife is correcting people about the proper spelling of my name, and it is spelled Ryan, but I'm okay with Rian because it's a combination of my name and Ian.
Yeah.
Have you seen the bit I've been doing on Angela McArdle? on
What?
Twitter.
No.
So she started tweeting about Ian from Timcast. And so I started replying to all of her tweets,
Oh my
pretending to be Ian.
That's fucking hilarious.
So after she announced her baby, I said, "Congrats from all of us here at Timcast."
Oh my god, Timcast is. I think they're going through some like turmoil over there at Timcast.
Yeah, they've had people leave. They've had controversy. I mean, their place got broken into last night. I think they
been
shot
swatted.
at someone,
They've been
and I don't know if
swatted
they
several times,
hit
too.
them. And yeah, they were swatted
Several times they've been swatted.
as well.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys feel free to drop questions in the chat. We prefer super
Mhm.
chats, but we're just doing a low profile show tonight since
Yeah.
Josh Denny couldn't show up, unfortunately. But
Will Hobbs asked, "What cartoon from my childhood influenced my sense of humor?" I wouldn't necessarily. I don't know if it counts as a cartoon, but Garfield, like the comic strip, that was a big influence on my humor because I didn't watch a whole lot of TV growing up. We were involved in a lot of things, and so it was only a couple hours of TV a week at most.
spent a lot
And
of
then-
time at church.
Not really,
No?
mostly a lot of time playing sports.
Did you play? You played a lot of sports?
All of them except wrestling because that shit's gay.
I will literally. Tonight's going to be the night you get punched in the mouth. Don't you ever disrespect my sport ever again. Do you understand me? That's the best. That's the hardest. Dude, I would love to see you go through one single day of wrestling practice without puking. One.
Like I could do it physically.
No, you couldn't. You would. I've never met a kid who was like, "Oh yeah, wrestling's gay," and then went to a wrestling practice and did not puke repeatedly.
Oh, especially when I was younger, I could have done that.
I want to
no
see
problem.
you do. I want to see you do 15 minutes of snake drills without puking.
What are snake drills?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, dude. You would puke your brains out. Listen, I played football and I wrestled, right? Wrestling, what the just the practice for wrestling was at least 10 times harder than a practice for football. And that's with running lines and all the same shit that you do in football, running up the bleachers and all that stuff that you do in football. Wrestling practice was 10 times harder.
Oh, so our tennis team in high school, players used to sign up for tennis. The wrestlers used to sign up for tennis just so they could get in better shape.
Yeah.
Because the tennis practices were more intense than wrestling.
No, you had a gay wrestling school that wasn't very good.
State champs multiple times.
Dude,
It was the only sport we were good at.
I'm telling you right now, there's nothing harder than a wrestling practice, except for maybe like a full blown hour-long MMA like team practice.
Oh, have you ever done sprints of butterfly and swimming?
Yeah, I was a swimmer.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That butterfly is intense. That doesn't get you to like throw up, but man, does it wear you down.
I'm telling you right now, I want to see you go to like Lulu wrestles, okay, twice a week. I want to see you go to a 5-year-old's wrestling practice and spend 1 hour doing wrestling practice. I want to see if you can handle it. I bet you couldn't. I bet we'd have to bring you an
I don't know
inhaler or
if
something.
now I could because I'm not in the shape I was growing up. But like growing up, I have no question that I could do it.
I don't think you
No
could.
question whatsoever.
I don't think you could.
I could run 10 miles and be fine.
That doesn't mean shit.
I could do it.
Run 2 miles doing refrigerator carries.
I don't know what refrigerator.
That's where you
carries are.
take the heavyweight and you put him on your back, and he just hangs off your back, and you have to run.
Okay.
Wrestlers are the hardest motherfuckers. Dude, a wrestler just fought a bear, bro.
Yeah.
Have you not seen that news?
No, I haven't.
Dude, listen to this. I'm gonna look it up because it's one of the greatest things I've ever heard. I believe it's a Wyoming wrestler. Hold on, I'm gonna read this to you. This is wrestlers fight off bear attack.
Hey.
Okay, listen. College wrestlers mauled in gruesome grizzly bear attack. A group of college wrestlers from Wyoming faced their toughest opponent yet over the weekend. Kendall Cummings and Brad Lowry, wrestling teammate at Northwest College in Powell, Wyoming, were mauled by a grizzly bear Saturday while antler hunting. The young men were released from a Billings, Montana hospital this week, convinced someone out there is looking out for me and Kendall. Lowry was the first one the grizzly attacked, he told CNN, while making his way back to his car alongside Cummings. Lowry said he noticed bear marks on the ground just as he began to point to them. To his friend, he started hearing crashing coming through the tree. Lowry said he only had time to yell "bear, bear" before the grizzly tackled him, causing him to fall about 5 feet off a small ledge. It started chomping at me pretty good. It got a hold of my left arm. It was shaking me around, broke my left arm. Cummings tried to get the bear's attention by yelling and throwing things at it. And when that didn't work, he jumped down and grabbed the bear and yanked it off me. The bear came for Cummings. Cummings told KSL the bear tackled me, chewed me up a bit, and then the bear wandered off, and Cummings yelled for Lowry, according to KSL. But before he heard a response, the bear came back for round 2, this time biting Cummings on the head and cheek. Lowry said he ran up the mountain to call 911, and after reaching emergency responders, happened to look down and see August Harrison and Orrin Jackson, 2 other teammates he and Cummings had separated from during the hike. The 3 connected with each other, and Harrison continued back up the mountain to find Cummings. Harrison said he found Cummings limping down the mountain, drenched in blood. Asked me how he looked and said, "You look great. We got to go." The group took turns carrying Cummings, who suffered the worst injuries, back towards the trailhead. They said they walked about a mile before they were picked up by farmers and eventually emergency responders. You have to understand that the mentality, just the mentality alone of wrestlers, is on a whole different level than any other sport. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, wrestling's gay. It's just 2 men grinding on each other," dude. If you have never wrestled a full match through 2 OTs, bro, you don't know what kind of heart it takes to get through just a single wrestling match, let alone practice at it for years, cut weight constantly, because every wrestler cuts weight. No one wants to wrestle at their natural weight class, dude. That's fucking stupid. I walk around at like 240 right now, 230. If I was to go and do an MMA fight, I'd fight at 185. You know what I mean? And I'd have 3 months.
And that's what my weight is now.
Right. And I would cut to be as skinny as you. And I would do it without a problem, because
you'd have to be
I've done it my whole life.
than me, because you're like 2 inches taller.
Yeah. I had to do it my whole life. I cut weight for 10 years, and then of course I trained MMA. I was never an MMA fighter, and I want to make that very clear. I did mixed martial arts, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, and I did judo and American kickboxing and boxing on and off for like 10 years.
Yeah. Like I don't have questions. I could have done the physical side, but like I was in phenomenal shape. Like, no, I have no doubt about it that I could have handled like wrestling workouts, but just the sport of wrestling just unsettles
It's the
me.
fucking most hardcore sport. It's the only sport where a guy can literally pick you up and slam you on the back of your head.
Legally, yes.
I'm just saying, dude, like combat sports are fucking hard. And that's the first combat. That's the original combat sport, dude. It's the original Olympic sport, the first one. And now they've taken it fucking out of the Olympics, because that's just, I mean, I don't even know. It like makes me want to cry.
Was it the Romans that started the Olympics, right?
Sure. I don't know. I don't know that much. Larry, thank you for the $20.
Weren't the Romans known for being gay?
I mean, you're pretty known for being gay on the show, so I mean, I wouldn't be.
No, I'm known for being autistic.
Yeah, same shit. Larry, thanks for the $20 super chat. He said, "Made you look." I do appreciate you. It makes a lot. It makes us very happy when you guys throw super chats for taking our 2 nights a week to come hang out with you. It does really. It's a big thing for us. So thank you, dude. Let's talk about these Twitter files.
Okay,
we're like almost 30 minutes in the show. We're talking about gay wrestling. So. Oh, it was Greeks.
Greeks.
It was Greeks, yeah. You gonna call Aristotle gay? I don't think so.
Yeah. Taken after Diogenes, just calling all other philosophers gay and fake.
Yeah, that's what you should do. I mean, listen. If it's not Murray Rothbard, you're faking gay. I mean, sorry, or Hoppe, I guess. Anybody who came from Mises tradition and Austrian tradition, everyone else, every other philosopher is wrong and gay and fake.
I don't know. Nietzsche is pretty cool.
No, he's one of the worst, dude. He's got some very good points. Let's take it point by point, okay? Mm-hmm. The staring into the abyss thing, amazing. Yeah. One of the best from the spoke Zarathustra, right? One of the best quotes of all time. I believe that it's very real and people need to take it into account. But he's a fucking leftist, dude.
Yeah,
he's a collectivist. Fucking communist.
I think he has very interesting thoughts. I don't think you should model yourself necessarily after Nietzsche, but his points on like embracing kind of the chaos in your life is very good.
Yeah, Shannon Ryan is the good kind of gay, not like Funko Pop gay. But he probably likes Funko Pop.
No,
He probably got a bunch of Funko Pop.
No, I'm too cheap.
They are getting fucking expensive, dude. You guys know I do like buying and reselling of all kinds of shit, but mostly sports cards and comics. But I do a lot of antiques and all kinds of other shit. And man, I watched the price of those fucking Funko Pop dolls go way, way up, dude. It's crazy to me.
My wife asks if I'm gay, what does that make her?
A dude. I could hear her laughing upstairs. I literally heard her just laugh upstairs.
Yeah, she has a very loud laugh, but she gets that from her mom's side because her mom has a loud laugh, and then her grandmother, it's like a freaking supersonic.
At least it's not like Fran Drescher.
A what?
Fran Drescher? God, you're such a baby. You don't know who Fran Drescher is?
No.
She was on a show called The Nanny, and she's got the most like New York laugh of all time. I can't even do it. It was terrible. But she like became famous for it. That's how she got famous. You don't know who Fran Drescher is? God,
I mean, that's still a better reason to be famous than Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, no shit, right? I want to know if anybody's listening to the show, is there an echo on my mic tonight? I have Ryan's other mic, the red one, muted. And so it's just the mics that are on the audio interface. So I'd like to know if I have the echo when I get loud like this. And if not, then we know that it's just that damn red mic's fault. So let us know. Twitter files, dude. Listen. So if you haven't paid attention to the Twitter files, it's fucking amazing. Okay. Essentially, it's crazy. Essentially, they released that Twitter was taking orders from the Biden campaign on who to sack. I mean, they were literally getting lists of Twitter followers.
They were a branch of government.
Yeah, but they were getting
basically.
Yeah, so there was no government involvement, is what the left keeps saying. No government involvement. See, it's totally fine. And it's like, okay, Twitter was taking marching orders on who to delete from their platform from a presidential campaign that consists of a prior vice president, several active staffers for government officials, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, this is there's no fucking way in hell. That's what we call hell here in Iowa because it's hail.
I've never heard that in Iowa before.
I wasn't asking you. I mean, where the fuck was I going with this? You made me see. Fuck me up. It's the hell they weren't, right? I mean, what is it? What the fuck are they doing? It was 100% taking marching orders from the Democratic Party, who has tons of fucking government officials in it. If the Libertarian Party had been giving marching orders to Twitter on who to remove from their platform, the left would be up in arms. If the Republicans were legitimately doing it, but they weren't legit, they weren't passing off like secret kill lists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Trump was obviously had his staffer sending some things like, "Hey, what is going on here? Why are you guys doing this?" And that, yeah, I mean, why the fuck are you doing that, right? And so, it's just absolutely insane to me that this is happening. And now the left is just totally like, "Oh, that's cool, that's okay." I mean, is there any depth that anybody could sink to on the left side that would actually make the left push them away, other than diverging from the mainstream narrative?
No, as long
no, there's not.
I don't think there. As long as you're following along with the most narcissistic people, then you'll be fine.
I just can't. I don't know how. It doesn't make sense to me, dude. Like you guys literally just saw the fucking corruptness of your own party, and you just were like, "Oh, that's cool. Yeah, well, it wasn't that bad." Like, what the fuck?
Your party said, I mean, we kind of know this hasn't been true for a long time, but they blatantly said the First Amendment isn't absolute.
Yes.
They don't believe you should have rights.
They did. They literally said that in the emails to Twitter. If you guys haven't read those emails, you need to go and check out you need to go check it out for sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a place for this.
And there was just like a couple hours before the show, Elon fired somebody that was delaying the process of the initial like leaks
Right.
because they were scrubbing the FBI from things.
Right. Well, and you,
So the FBI is involved. We're gonna learn how because they got rid of their inside man.
Do you think that Elon Musk will make it long enough to put out files on the FBI?
He said he came out and said, "I'm an assassination target right now."
And there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely black sites right now that are like ready for Elon, and that's terrifying to think about. It's crazy to fucking think about. But it's not shocking. We were told. Edward Snowden told us this shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the only person that's ever talked about that.
Yeah.
You know, Kanye's probably on some black sites too right now. You know what I mean?
I think he's easy enough to pass off as unwell.
Yeah, they can't do that with Musk.
Yeah,
They've tried.
Mm-hmm.
They've tried.
But it just didn't hold. He's a sounder mind than they are.
Yeah. That's the same thing they did with John McAfee too, right? Like he was like, "Oh, I got all this shit. I'm releasing this stuff. This is what's going on," and they were like, "Oh, he's
literally
a fucking insane
tweeted
person."
out, "If I kill myself, it wasn't me."
And then
he Epstein himself.
right, and then he was dead, which doesn't make any fucking sense to anybody who was actually paying attention whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
0 sense.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do? I mean, Ye definitely made Mossad's hit list for sure. There's no doubt about it that he's on that list. None whatsoever. 0. And especially after he started doing the Netanyahu thing. You know what's funny? I had this conversation on Twitter today. As you guys know, I'm pretty religious. I was baptized recently. I started finding my faith again about 3 years ago, and it's been one of the best things I've ever done for myself. I think that everyone should do it, or God's light's on for everybody. So if you come to it when you want, but somebody on Twitter was like, it wasn't the Jews that killed Jesus. I was like, well, yeah, it definitely was the Jews that called for him to be murdered by the Romans. That's known in history, not just in the Bible, but also in the Bible, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, but it was just one small community of Jews, the Pharisees and this and that. And I was all, no, every single one of the Jewish leaders, everyone called for Jesus' death for saying that he
is the son of
God. Is the son of God and the king of Jews.
Mm-hmm.
That was what really got him. Was he said he's the king of Jews. He was doing miracles. He was doing all this stuff, and they specifically said that he is hurting our position as dominant in the religious community. That's literally what it says in the Bible, right?
I need to go read through some of those stories again, with like a more discerning perspective,
right?
And because when you grow up with it, you don't think about people's desire for power,
right?
And how Jesus was a threat to that.
But they literally said he was threatening their dominant religious position, because they were the dominant religious position in the world at the time, right? And it's so crazy to think about that, because the big argument right now is, do the Jews have this dominant culture over, politics and Hollywood and entertainment and the news and all this stuff? And then you go back to the Bible and you're like, wow, they literally called for the murder of Jesus because he was threatening their dominant religious culture position. And that's pretty crazy to think about, that argument is going on now, when in the Bible it says that's actually what was going on. It's fucking so weird to me, dude. It is a very weird thing to me. I don't know. And now they refuse to call him Jesus, the living Son of God, the living Savior. They don't believe that he's coming back. They don't believe that he came back after he was murdered. I mean, that's weird, right? Yeah,
it is. I've heard the argument for it. I think I listened to Ben Shapiro explain it, and it didn't make much sense to me.
It's just crazy.
I think they're latched onto one or two specific verses in prophecy in Isaiah or something.
Sure. Yeah, Josh is rescheduling. He can't do tonight because he He had a medical emergency. So you guys that are here to see Josh Denny, I'm sorry, he will not be here tonight. I said it in the beginning of the show, he had a medical emergency, and so we're rescheduling. And it's just me and Ryan tonight talking about Twitter files and Jews and other things.
And Garfield.
Garfield and wrestling and football and all the good stuff in life. So no, he won't be here tonight, but he will. I'm really bummed because Josh Denny's hilarious. He's one of my favorite dudes. But the best thing about Josh Denny is he literally has like an entire battalion of like the gayest trolls that troll every single thing he does because they hate him so bad, right? And they will literally pay super chat dividends to have me ask him questions that are like bad, and he'll sit there and answer them all night. He'll be like, "No, dude, just let him keep going. It's great. I'm glad you're making some money tonight. Yeah, dude, just do it." He's fucking so cool and down to earth and chill, but they talk shit about him because he's like made some stories up. Like comedians don't make up fucking stories. You know what I mean? Like they don't make up fucking stories on stage all the time. All the time.
Like Dave Chappelle in one of his like most recent specials where he had the whole thing where he's like, "I'm so good at what I do that I can pull a punchline out of a fishbowl and then make up a story," and he does it, and it's like that story clearly didn't exist, but I believed it.
That's literally part of comedy. I mean, that's what they do. So I don't give a shit. I think Josh is hilarious, dude, but they call him a professional Uber driver and all this shit. But he was just he just got like shut down. He was supposed to do a stand-up show in Antifa, like called the venue over and over and over, and then called the police chief and told the police chief that there would be full-scale violence if he didn't shut it down. And instead of doing, what police chiefs are supposed to do and being like, "Okay, well, we'll stand against you for bringing violence to a free speech comedy show," he said he called the venue and told the venue, "Hey, either you guys shut it down or we're going to have to come and shut it down for public safety." Can you believe that bullshit?
Yes.
I mean, of course. AJ Fisher, what's up, dude? He's at the PTO meeting sending us super chats. I fucking love it. Thanks for the $5 super chat. He says the FBI is weaponized terror group used by the feds to prosecute domestic patriots. ATF is their SWAT team. Abolish them both. I say the FBI is the domestic CIA. I mean, that's what it is. That's really what it is. That's what they are. That's all they are at this point. I think that if the FBI were to exist, what it should worry about is like interstate murders. You know what I mean? Shit like that. Like serial killer, like going after people like Jeffrey Dahmer, you know what I mean? Like, because they have really the high like up profilers and they've studied all this psychology and shit. It's like, okay, go after those people. Let the localities go after the local crimes and fucking just stop going after everybody for every little fucking thing they do. Federal courts are the worst courts in the world. They literally will be like, "Okay, if you don't take this plea bargain for 20 years, we're going to give you 16 life sentences." Literally. That's what they'll do. And then you're like, "Okay, well, I'll take the 10 years. You know what I mean? Because of course you don't want to go to court and
sorry I jaywalked with my dog off a leash.
Exactly, dude. It's fucking crazy. James, gentlemen, you've never heard of Josh Denny? He's been on my show 3 times. I think I had him on an episode of Conspiracy Couch once with me and Dan Smots and Dave Casey, and then I had one show where it was just me and him, and he's fucking hilarious, dude. That guy's great. He's also been on Tower Power Hour. So
James was claiming earlier that he started the whole Ian thing.
He may have, dude. He may have. Yeah, he may have. He was our first guest in the new studio.
I think you were the one that first called me Ian.
Yeah, I was definitely saying that you were my Ian Crossland.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody started comparing you to Ian until we actually went live and James was like, "Oh, I see it now."
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, Ryan is Ian in Josh's backyard. Yeah, maybe he did, dude. I told you, dude. Okay. I said you were my Ian Crossland.
Yeah. I know Leighton has been the one that's kept it going the most.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Leighton's the homie too. I hope Leighton needs to take a trip to the mainland here and come hang out with us, dude. He'd be great on the couch. I love Leighton to death. He's one of my favorites. So what do you think is going to come of these Twitter files? Do you think anything's even going to happen at all?
I mean, I'm not exactly sure. Like on a governmental level, nothing will happen. People know they can get away with it, and they don't care if you're upset about it.
Right. Which is really fucking lame, dude. Like really, really dumb.
But yeah, I'm not really sure what the effects of this will be. I think as a society, we're just kind of so persistently shell shocked that we're numb to it.
Right.
So when it says when blatant corruption like that and is exposed, we're just like, wonder what's next on TikTok or.
Yeah, no shit. Did you see the blatant corruption that I exposed today with my friend
Oh
Cody
yeah,
about Nick Sarwark?
yeah. I was helping people learn what is it? Wedges squared.
Wedge squared, yeah.
Wedge squared. Yeah, I was explaining to people what they do. See, they like they take like door wedges and cut them so they're squares.
Yeah, that's anyway, so it's really funny.
It would be more useful than what they do.
It's really funny. So Nick Sarwark was the chairman of the Libertarian National Committee for 3 terms. He's the longest sitting chair of the Libertarian National Committee.
Mm-hmm.
And he fooled a lot of people in the beginning that he was this great libertarian, and then immediately started to do all kinds of corrupt shit behind the scenes. And then by his last term, he couldn't keep it behind the scenes anymore, and everyone saw his real face, right? And I was calling it out for 2 terms almost, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to sit on the board with him for a full term as the chair, and I was an at-large rep. And I sat across from him, and I watched the eyes, dude. I could see it in his fucking eyes. He was scheming for ways to take money from the party and throw the party into chaos. I could see it all the fucking time, dude. I was like, this guy is out there. There's something going on with him. That's why I call him a Fed, because I don't know why you would do the things you're doing unless you were some kind of chaos agent paid. Either you've been compromised or you're an actual agent. Okay. And so when he lost terribly in May, prior to this, when he had stepped down from being the chair in 2020, yes, 2020, and he had Joe Bishop Hinchman run against me, which, by the way, I'm pretty sure, I'm almost 100% positive they cheated to win that election. I'm not going to be the stop the steal guy, but there was definitely some signs. So anyways, so Joe took over and he moved to New Hampshire because, you know, when you can't disrupt the Libertarian Party anymore, go disrupt the Free Straight Project, right? Because they're actually being successful and this and that. And so he moved there and he started Wedge Squared and the Libertarian Policy Institute, both. And from what I understand, the first check came from Bill Weld. Okay. And I watched him in the lead up to that go around the country and try to find as many campaigns as he could to give him money. I don't think he did any really serious consulting work with Wedge Squared. Wedge Squared is a consulting firm. Okay. But he got a bunch of candidates wrapped up. None of those candidates won. He ran locally for prosecutor or something.
Yeah.
In New Hampshire.
District attorney,
something like that. He raised $18,000. His expenditures, $13,000 to Wedge Squared, his own company. Okay. So he literally 3/4 of what he raised went into his pocket. His wife ran. She raised 8,000, 5,000. 5,000 went to Wedge Squared. Their best friend, Richard Manzo, raised 2,500. 900 went to Wedge Squared. And this is not even including their gubernatorial candidate that paid them, the gubernatorial candidate from Arkansas that paid them, tons of candidates, I'm sure, from Alabama, because I know they had a lot to do with that. I'm sure Marshall Burt and all these other candidates around the country probably paying them. They probably made hundreds of thousands of dollars off this, and not a single one of their candidates won. Not a single one. And he paid himself 3/4 of the funds that he raised. That, my friends, is absolute fucking disgusting political corruption. Is it legal? Maybe.
Yeah, and you got to remember, Josh. Their office really needed that hot tub.
Listen, is it legal? Maybe. Ethical? Moral? Not scumbaggery? No. Terrible shit. All of it. And they know it. They know it. And they took money from libertarian candidates and did not help them win. Now they turn around, they talk all this shit about the LNC, who is taking no money from libertarian candidates. The candidates don't pay us for shit. Okay, for a long time, the LNC had its own own business making websites for candidates for free, and they had all kinds of free candidate resources, and They helped them with like the candidate in a package deal where you could learn how to do campaign plans and all this shit. We didn't take a dollar from them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We fundraise on our own. And so, and none of that money goes into anybody's personal pockets, right? At all. $0 of it goes into any of our personal pockets. In fact, if you're on the LNC for the National Committee of the Libertarian Party, you are a fucking volunteer. You do not get paid. Meanwhile, the chairs of the DNC and the RNC are making $750,000 a year. Okay, so when people are like, "Oh, why doesn't the Libertarian Party win?" and this and that and this and that, because we don't have the fucking resources, dude. Our national committee doesn't even get paid. It's all on our own dime. Like I have to go down to New Mexico in March for the national committee meeting, and it's $700 flight and another $200 hotel, and you know what I mean. And like, we have to pay that all out of pocket. No, the party does not pay that for us. Not for the chair, not for the vice chair, not for any of the at-large reps, not for any of the region reps or the alternates, or the only people that get paid are staff. So to watch this fuckhead, this piece of shit, fucking federal agent take money from libertarian candidates that already don't have resources, do fucking nothing, and help no wins, garbage. What a garbage fucking person. Do not send money to Nick Sarwark. $0. Make him go back to being a public defender again, because he should not be working in politics, in my opinion. He's just like the rest of the fucking terrible people that I met in politics, dude. He's no different. He's the same. He's the same as the worst vile scumbag, corrupt motherfuckers in DC. He's the same person. Fuck him. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I haven't interacted with him much. I haven't. What I know him most for is faking
the shoulder bump.
Yeah, the shoulder bump.
The guy should have played fucking soccer.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys haven't seen that, that was hilarious. He basically pulled a LeBron James at the national convention after he had lost the entire weekend. Then Sunday afternoon, he ran into somebody and turned around and said, "He punched me."
Yep.
Called the cops and everything.
And I'm someone that's slow to see the bad in people. So,
well, I used to be a Nick Sarwark fan, if you can believe that. In like 2016, when I left, because I had already left the Republican Party in 2009, 2010. I left the Republicans because after what I watched them do to Ron Paul, there was no way, no way I was going to take part in that again. And then I stayed, politically jaded and homeless for quite some time. And then I joined the Libertarian Party in 2010. I emailed the national committee a bunch. Nobody ever got back to me. So I stopped my donations after 3 months, came back in 2016. Now you got to remember, I had worked on Ron Paul's campaign in fucking California. So I had to struggle. You know what I mean? It was not easy in the Bay Area. Mm-hmm. And so I went back to the Libertarian Party about 2015, watching the shit show lead up to 2016. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to be part of this. And Nick was a fucking badass back then. And he was just starting his second term, right? Mm-hmm. 2016 to 2018, 2018 to 2020. Yeah, he was just starting his second term in 2016. And I was like, yeah, this dude's fucking dope, dude. He's like, he gave this now famous speech, really, that, your tears are delicious and your parties will die. It was beautiful, dude. Like, I was like, yes, dude, this guy's fucking tight. And he got everybody fooled. Everybody fooled. And meanwhile, he's like, look what I'm doing with this hand back here. He's fucking doing background shit to try and ruin the party, dude. Mm-hmm. Clearly a federal agent. Clearly. I don't know.
I don't know. It's I learned I learned again this week that sometimes people just people behave in ways that you cannot physically comprehend. Because the thought of doing what they're doing wouldn't have a chance of crossing your mind.
Right. Well, I don't remember what the quote was. Nick Sarwark may not be a federal agent, but if he was, what would he be doing differently? Right? Yeah. I don't think he'd be doing anything differently. He would be doing exactly what he's doing. And you got to remember, I try to bring it up on the show all the time. Like, he came out of nowhere in Maryland, said that he was a generational libertarian. Okay, Maryland. We know that Baltimore is real close to where the CIA is, the NSA, all this shit, right? And he came out of nowhere and started taking over the Maryland party. When that didn't really go his way anymore after that, he went to Colorado and started taking over the Colorado party. When that was kind of done, he went back to his home state of Arizona and became the national chairman.
Mm-hmm.
Then when that was over, he went to the Free State Project, who doesn't like him, by the way, at all. I don't even think they let him to come to their like meetups or anything.
I know Jeremy Kaufman kind of likes him.
No, he doesn't like Nick at all.
Yeah, but
no, he doesn't.
He tweeted out like support for him
for his
campaign.
His tweeted out support. Do you remember what he said? He said
No.
I'm very glad to see Nick finally running as what he is, a Democrat, and I wish him luck because he ran as a Democrat.
Did he? I thought he ran as a libertarian.
He did, but he got the Democrat line too. Him and Richard Manzo, and I think his wife Valerie.
Okay.
So they actually were on the Democratic ballot, and that was what Jeremy. That was what.
Well,
Jeremy
like on election
support.
day, he tweeted out something about voting with a yard sign of his, and then Nick's right above it.
Well, sure. I mean,
because Jeremy is super like, let's get along.
The funny thing about Jeremy is people treat him like he's this fucking monster, and he's like the
he's so
chillest fucking like hippie, love
so
everybody dude
chill
you'll ever
and
meet.
So like forgiving and just he seeks out the best in people. Like
right.
I'm slow to recognize the bad in people, but Jeremy just looks actively looks for the good in people.
Yeah,
and it's admirable.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man. He's a really, really good dude. And he does not get the credit he deserves because the losers have painted him as some fucking monster. And it's just not who he is. He's a really good dude. Like a really good family man, hippie, like.
And like incredibly smart and well read.
So smart.
Oh.
Like one of the, you guys got to understand, I've had a lot of really smart people on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, I've had Jeff Deist on the show and Perb Island and all these wonderful fucking huge thinkers have been on my show. And he's one of the smartest people I've ever had on here. It's not even close.
Out of all the guests that we've had on, I think Jeremy was the smartest. He just was
it's definitely
so
James,
insightful.
It's definitely James Gentleman was number one smartest dude on the show for sure. Love that guy to death. James, come back and do the show, buddy. My buddy, I got a buddy coming down from Minnesota to do the show on Thursday.
Oh, nice.
Brett Lindensfelser, who's a really good buddy of mine, and he works in ammunitions, so that'll be fun to have him on. And he's really cool, and he'll probably get stoned and drunk and have a good time, and maybe probably spend the night and all that shit too. So he'll be here Thursday.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Anyways, we're getting to the end of the show. I think we've rambled on long enough.
Yeah, we should do a members only because I have a story.
We'll talk about your story
only.
in the members only. He's got a really funny fucking story today that we should talk about, and we'll talk about that in the members only chat. He can't talk about it in the public stream, so
I cannot.
Yeah, so you guys should join the channel memberships on YouTube or Patreon or Subscribestar. Patreon and Subscribestar are both the websites.com and then / break the cycle JS. You can sign up at any level there, I think, except for like the $3 level won't get you into the members only stuff, but everything else will get you into the members only stuff. And you support the show, and you get to see all the after hour stuff where we go extra hard in the after hours quite frequently. So that's the fun place because I don't monetize it on YouTube, and so YouTube just doesn't give a shit what I'm doing with it basically because it's unlisted and it's not monetized. So like nobody ever sees it except for the people that pay. So YouTube does not give a shit about it. AJ Fisher, thanks for the $2 super chat. It's funny that our co-host is one of the only people throwing super chats tonight. He says Project Veritas should cover Sarwark. I agree. I agree fully that they should. But anyways, Ryan, you got anything before we go?
Follow me on Twitter at BulldogGamer28. I think everybody I've seen in the chat.
Don't go too far. We got to do. We got to do.
We got to do Blood of Tyrants.
Yeah, you guys got to check out Blood of Tyrants for me real quick before we get going, and of course my buddy Peace Hawk Coffee too. But
Peace Hawk.
The tree of liberty must be watered from time to time with the blood of tyrants. The official spirit of 1776, smooth, flavorful, Merlot. For any revolution, tyrants are losing their heads over this wine. Enjoy the taste of freedom. Drink the blood of tyrants.
Order today at bloodoftyrants.wine. Save 10% with the code BREAK.
Guys, you should also check out Peace Hawk Coffee if you get a chance. Peace Hawk Coffee. With the small coffee roasting business, Peace Hawk will sell delicious micro batch roasted coffee online while donating at least $1 of every pound sold to worthy foreign aid organizations like Yemen Relief and Reconstruction Foundation, who has expressed support for this project, by the way. While their initial focus will be on Yemen Ethiopian coffee, they'll have some affordable Central American varieties available soon too. However, PSOC will always donate at least $1 to every pound for every pound sold to worthy foreign aid organizations. When you buy PSOC coffee, you're not only buying great coffee, you have a chance to support the economies of countries struggling against the effects of war, support stellar private aid foundations doing life-saving work abroad, support stateside peace activists like me, my friend Will Hobson, and everybody who's ever been on the show for the future. The name PSOC will be the counter to the Warhawk, who is aggressively pro-peace or pro-war. This company will be aggressively pro-peace. Sign up for their email list now at peacehawk.coffee, where you can get all the updates on when it goes live. I just got 2 bags of the coffee delivered. I'll be sharing it with my good friend Ryan. We'll be taste testing, maybe on air next week on Thursday. What do you think?
Okay, I can do a sip, but I normally don't do.
You don't drink coffee?
I don't do caffeine after 4:30, and my limit for coffee a day is I max out at 4 ounces. Otherwise, I like
4 ounces.
Yeah, 4 ounces. Otherwise, I get jittery.
Bro, I like spill 4 ounces of the probably 100 ounces a day that I drink. I can't. How do you do it, bro? Oh, it's because you don't have 7 kids.
And
just wait, buddy. Just wait.
I
You'll need it eventually.
I take a stimulant in the morning, and I drink a lot of Diet Dr. Pepper.
What do you take? What stimulant do you take?
Concerta.
What the fuck is that?
It's the dopamine reuptake inhibitor. It's ADHD medication.
Oh, you take ADHD medication?
Yes.
Oh shit, dude. He's gonna come in here and mass shoot me one of these days.
What? No,
I'm just kidding.
that's SSRIs.
Oh, right.
Which I did take for a while.
They put me on that shit when I was a kid too, and my mom was like, "It makes you a zombie. I don't want you on anymore." So she took me off all that stuff. I enjoy my ADHD, dude. I've learned to enjoy it.
I wouldn't have finished college without
Yeah.
medication, and I wouldn't be.
I didn't finish college.
I wouldn't be a terribly functional or successful person in everyday life if I didn't have it. I would be off doing some weird creative thing.
I've learned.
Struggling
I've
and not finishing anything.
legitimately. There's still some really bad habits I have because of my ADHD, but I have actually 100% learned how to harness my ADHD into something positive, dude. And it was fucking hard. It wasn't. It took me. It took me till my almost 40s.
Yeah, and I've learned how to do some of that. Like when I. Like you've seen like the things that I know a lot about. I've just hyper focused on it for long periods of time and just gotten obsessed with learning about it.
Yeah, I'm serious. I've like learned how to harness it, and that's how I do my reselling. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I do the show and all this thing. It's because of that. Like, it's the only reason I've been able to do what I can do. So, AJ Fisher, another $2 super chat. Thank you, sir. He said he'll bring apple fritters on Thursday. I'm sure Brett Lindenfelser will appreciate that. He's dope, man. I love Brett. He's one of my very favorite guys. He's been a supporter of the show for a fucking long time too. And his brother was supposed to come on the show. I was trying to get them both to come on.
People want me to do an arc off my meds.
Yes, you should. That'd be savage. What?
You guys
How long can you go without it?
I mean, I can usually after 2 days without taking it, I really start to like feel the effects, and it's like it's weird to describe, but it's like my thoughts are like far more separated.
Yeah.
And then I can't sit still worth a shit, so you guys wouldn't enjoy the show because you wouldn't be able to hear me because I'd be rolling around this fucking couch or just like back on the ground, feet up in the air.
You know what I think we need to do, buddy?
I can't sit still.
You know what I think we need to do? I think we need to have an episode where you don't do your meds for the day and then you take mushrooms.
Okay,
that'd be savage.
I do want to take mushrooms at some point.
Yeah, well, you don't want to have a stimulant in you when you take mushrooms. I promise you. It's not a good combo.
Well, I mean, if it for the most part, like the stimulant's mostly out of me at this time of the day.
Okay.
So it's because I take it at like 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And
just,
it's extended
you want to take
10 hours.
Take like for your first time, take like an eighth of mushrooms and just smoke like a half ounce of weed, dude. You'll be doing great.
I won't. Okay, I'll do mushrooms, but I won't smoke weed.
That's the gayest thing I've ever heard in my life. Maybe of all time.
I have reasoning behind it because I'm already a pretty relaxed individual. And
Is that what you call it? What you do?
kind of
Relaxed? Is that what you call it? That's what you call
I'm
it?
pretty nonchalant as it
Fear
it
and
is,
loathing and WDSM. Dude.
and I think weed would exasperate that.
No. Not when you have ADHD, buddy. I'll tell you, when I smoke weed, I'm like, woo, ready to go. I don't smoke really very often, but things have like opposite effects on you when you're ADHD.
Yeah.
Right.
Because like one of the reasons I wouldn't be as like relaxed and kind of nonchalant as I am
Right.
Without my stimulant.
No, I'm not going to get him started with microdosing, Joe. I'm going to make him take a whole eighth of like the gold flecked mushrooms. It'll be fun. It'll be fun to watch. You'll be fine.
Oh yeah, I don't have worries about being on mushrooms.
That's so bizarre to me because you can have a totally bad trip on mushrooms, dude. It can happen.
Yeah, I could.
And they're
I could,
and
but
they suck. I've had one. They suck. They're
but
not fun.
I think I'd be all right.
Yeah. Well, shit, man. Well, shit. I think we're gonna get out of here. You wanna drop anything before we leave?
I mean, they know my Twitter. I don't know. I don't really got much else.
Jesus, dude. Okay. Well, if you guys want to do me a favor and go follow my buddy on Twitter at Bulldog Gamer, he is the man. He's a really sweet dude. He's very good with my kids and family and stuff like that. So we love Ryan to death, even if we don't always agree with everything Ryan says here. And go follow our guest for next week, Brett Lindenfelser. He's fucking dope. He's on Twitter at Lindenfelser191. That's LINDENFELSER191. Dude's cool shit, man. He needs some more dudes following him. And you guys are good dudes. I'll see you on Thursday for the show with Brett. It's going to be a good time. I love you all. Don't forget to break the cycle.
Due to legal reasons, I just have to explain. The lyrics of my last song may seem to contain a violent call to action in the verse and refrain, but I just meant it in Minecraft. The helicopter part was in reference to GTA 5 and the things you do. So any violence you commit, I am not an excuse, because I just meant it in Minecraft. A trooper is my friend and he's constantly cold. Accusations of incitement getting totally old. Make your own choices, yeah, you have control, because I just meant it in Minecraft. Obviously I would never advocate force, unless there's due process and a trial, of course. And if you're convicted, we will make you a corpse in Minecraft, just in Minecraft. You're nothing I mean, you know it. No product dinners, cause it closed for COVID.